Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and legislative assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen. Good morning, honorable members. Welcome to today's sitting. We may start the business of the day. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
May I invite Honorable Mwoki Musila to come forward and lay a paper. Welcome, honorable member.
Honorable Speaker, I'm Mwoki Musila, the MCA, Ndidhini Ward. I wish to lay a paper, Honorable Speaker. I wish to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Wednesday, 29th November 2023. Report of the Transport, Roads and Public Works Committee on the status of contracted rural roads projects financial year 2022-2023. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable member. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
May I, at this point, invite Honorable Mwoki Musila, Chairperson, Transport, Roads and Public Works Committee, to come forward and give a notice of motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that aware the County Assembly's oversight function is one of the correct cornerstones of democracy, aware that oversight is a means for holding the county executive accountable for its action and for ensuring that it implements policies in accordance with the laws and the budget passed by the County Assembly. Acknowledging that Article 183.3 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 provides that the County Executive Committee shall provide the County Assembly with full and regular reports on matters relating to the county. Further, aware that Article 185.3 states that County Assembly, while respecting the principles of separation of powers, may exercise over the County Executive Committee and any other county executive organs. Cognizant that the Transport, Roads and Public Works Committee is established under Second Schedule Standing Order 190 and is mandated to deal with all matters related to county transport, including county roads. Aware that the Transport, Roads and Public Works Committee received a report on status of rural roads projects from the Department of Roads and Transport, conducted several visits to ascertain the status of the sampled roads as indicated in the report, held meeting with the County Executive Committee member and compiled this report. Honorable Speaker, I wish to give notice of motion that this Honorable House discusses and approves the Transport, Roads and Public Works Committee report on the status of the contracted rural roads project financial year 2022-2023. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Musila. Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Next order.
Order number 8, motion, approval of motion on putting up measures to handle teething in children.
May I invite Honorable Judas Ndawa, Leader of Minority and the MCA Matu Ward, to come forward and present that motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Before I move the motion, I wish to take this opportunity to congratulate one of us, one Honorable Eileen Molu, for being awarded what we call a degree in what we call doctorate degree in humanities and political science. So it's good to recognize the achievements that we get in this house. So, Honorable Mheshimiwa, congrats. And I just want to tell you that now, the issue that we used to be told that the sky is the limit, that has already been overtaken by event.
Dr.
Yes.
Mheshimiwa.
No, Dr.
Irene
Mheshimiwa,
Molu.
yes. Dr. Mheshimiwa. Now the limit is mind, is your mind. That is now because some states have sent some planes to the farthest planet, that is Pluto, and that is beyond the sky. So thank you very much. Coming to the business before the House, Honorable Speaker, aware that Article 43, Sub-Article 1A of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, provide that every person has a right to the highest attainable standard of health, which include the right to health care services, including productive health care. Further, aware that Article 53, Sub-Article 1C and D of the same Constitution state that every child has a right to basic nutrition, shelter, and health care, and to be protected from abuse, neglect, harmful cultural practices, or forms of violence, inhuman treatment and punishment, and hazardous or exploitative labor. Aware that cutting of child's teeth gum is a cultural practice common in the Kamba community, where mothers or caregivers use ash stone or coarse sodium bicarbonate stone to rub off the gum pants of a baby until they bleed just when teething is about to happen. Further, aware that in other cases, sharp objects like laser blades and knives are used to cut the gums and expose the underlying teeth burns, and aware that in all these cases, the procedures are done without anesthesia and the child bearing immense pain. Cognizant of the fact that several of these children have also died due to sepsis, since the wounds inflicted in the mouth become infected and bacterial infection spread to the whole body, causing sepsis, which is fatal. Aware that in the last 1 month, Matule 44 Hospital has lost 9 children from sepsis caused by the gum cutting. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that this House urges the county government of Machakos through Department of Health to put up measures to ensure that 1, mothers are sensitized on how to handle teething babies both at prenatal and postnatal clinics. 2, community health promoters are well equipped with knowledge to sensitize mothers and caregivers to shun gum cutting and embrace modern health practices of teething. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to call Honorable Kaviu to second the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Thank you, Honorable Kaviu. I now propose the question that this House urges the County Government of Machakos through the Department of Health to put up measures to ensure that, 1, mothers are sensitized on how to handle teething babies, both at prenatal and postnatal clinics. 2, community health promoters are well equipped with knowledge to sensitize mothers and caregivers to shun gum cutting and embrace modern health practices of teething. I now invite members to debate this motion. Members, it's your time. Honorable Helen Detty, you can start us off.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I don't know where to start, but I first want to congratulate Mheshimiwa Ndawa for bringing this to the floor of the House. This act, which I would describe as backward, outdated, despicable, unspeakable. You know, I do not imagine at my age that such things are happening. I know as I was growing up, I'm going 67. As I was growing up, I remember witnessing such acts. But 67 years down the road, it is still happening in our county. I think it's very embarrassing, but I am happy that you have brought it here. Tomorrow marks 16 days from tomorrow. For 16 days, we are going to have a lot of activism in Kenya against gender-based violence and such acts that injure our children. I think it's unfortunate, and what I would say is that Machakos County government, together with the women caucus of this assembly, we should take it as part of our responsibility to visit Matu Level 4 Hospital to establish these really backward acts and look for funding to sensitize our women, not only in Matu, but in the entire county, where such acts could be taking place, and ensure that our women on the ground who have got such young children are aware of the repercussions of carrying out such outdated acts. So I call upon the county government, together with the Women Caucus or Gender and Equality Committee of this House, to work together to ensure that such acts are a thing of the past. Thank you.
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
Point of information taken.
Madam Speaker, although it was almost through, I want to remind her that we have a healthy committee. I don't know why she is emphasizing on the women caucus. Yeah, in visiting of hospitals, that we have an health committee.
Women caucus
and a high blood chair.
Is a player. Women caucus is one of the players in this area of sensitization.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Sorry, Mheshimiwa Mwanga, I want to inform you that the reason why we formed this Gender and Equality Committee is also to look at such issues that touch on our people. These are children who are vulnerable, and their mothers are also not sensitized enough, and it's only through that committee, together with the Committee of Health, that can be able to sort out this menace. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. Can I have more contributions on this motion? Honorable Mutie, the Chair, Health Committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. for giving me time to contribute on this important motion regarding this practice. In fact, I was reading from the internet, and I realized that it is mentioned, to my disbelief, that this is a common practice among the Kamba community and the Maasai community. So we are talking about a tribal tragedy being practiced, which is occurring in our community. And this motion, I rise up to support it on two topics, bearing in mind that most of our people are not well informed on the dangers of this practice. In fact, I was reading and I realized that people say that if the gums are gorged and they are slit, then they are trying to prevent that child from diarrhea, from fever, from those kind of things. But they do not know what is the cause of diarrhea. In fact, if we are to help our people, the first thing which is coming out is that our people need to be informed. So as I support this motion, I will also want, as we normally do campaigns for polio, as we do campaigns for other issues, we need also to do campaigns for these kind of practices which endanger our children and endanger our people. It is important to understand that this falls under the preventive health care sector of the Department of Health. We need to enhance, including budget allocation for that sector, so that they can be able to carry out campaigns amongst our people, do sensitization programs, so that our people are well informed on the dangers of this practice and given alternatives, because perhaps they do not know whether there are alternatives and there are better approaches. This will help us also to make sure that we reduce the mortality rate, because it is a shame that up to, in fact, it is recorded that Matu alone has lost 9 children. Maybe these are children who came to the hospital. There are others who did not go to the hospital. So perhaps the number could be high. We are focusing on Matu. But as I had said, that it is a practice among our community, that it means that there are other areas which are affected by the same practice. And the deaths could be higher than what we have seen. In fact, it is shocking because the move of the motion has clearly indicated that in the last 1 month, Matu Level 4 Hospital lost 9 children. That is a very high number of deaths being caused by one factor. So it is something that we need to support and give the department the benefit of coming up with a program, coming up with a budget, coming up with measures so that we can help them combat this backward practice. I support the motion also in equipping our community health promoters with knowledge so that they can sensitize these matters. In fact, now we have introduced a new level in the hierarchy of health. We used to begin at level 2, being the dispensaries. Now currently the new bill recognizes the community health promoters as level 1 in the hierarchy of health. So as we try to bring matters of health close to the people, we need to have them equipped with the necessary knowledge. We need them to be equipped with the necessary capacity in terms of equipment, so that they can help not only these mothers and the caregivers on this sector of GAMS alone, but even in other sectors of health. For example, you realize that there are many people who suffer in the villages because of things which could be handled in hospitals. These people who are the CHPs, they need mobility, they need training, they need so many other areas they need to be equipped in several areas so that they can be able to understand the many small ailments that affect our people at the household level. So, Honorable Speaker, I support and I give a commitment that as the chair of the committee that oversees this department, we will make sure that this is achieved. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mutie. Honorable Brian Kisila.
Madam Speaker, this is actually very serious. And it is not just happening in Matu. It is a common practice amongst all of us. And Madam Speaker, we actually need to understand that even some of us went through that process of our mothers cutting our gums. So what Mheshimiwa Ndawa is raising is a serious issue, which actually we need to take it up to the next level, as my chair has said. How do we empower these women? And these women are actually very well trained. The only mistake, probably what is happening in Mheshimiwa Ndawa, and when I realized that motion, I did some survey yesterday in my ward. And actually I realized there are dignified women who are known in the village who do this act. And they are known. So, and I went further and met one of them. She treats almost like 5 children every week, cutting gums. So now what we need to do, apart from having the community health promoters being trained, maybe we need to go further, my chairman, and actually identify these women, train them, and equip them. Because the issue here, as Mheshimiwa Ndawa, is money. When you go to the hospital, they are being charged money. But when I go to this lady in the village, she's charging 100 bob or 50 bob.
Point of information taken. Honorable Brian, have a seat.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think the member is out of order because whatever he's discussing is quite different from the prayers that are in the motion. I think it's like he is introducing a new motion of financing and working with the so-called ladies that he's referring to. So I think he can just stick to the today's motion. Thank you.
The member is not out of order because, one, he's talking about training those women to make them properly do the work in the right way. So, Honorable Brian Kisila, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Actually, we need to clap for our Madam Speaker. And today is her birthday, by the way, so let us, she has more, she's oozing with wisdom. I'm actually serious about the issue of these women. They need to be trained. They need to be equipped. And in our budget, in our health committee, we need actually to identify them. Madam Speaker, they are in the same village.
Let's have one meeting, members.
In the same village, and I'm not digressing. There are women who, I don't know what you call it in Kikamba, in English. Kabaso. Kabaso. Lifting of Kabaso. Diaphragm. And let me tell you, that is a science. It is a science which, even if you go to the hospital, when you have a kabaso, those women know how to do it. And they are very qualified to do that. They are the same women.
Point of information, Madam Speaker. A very good information for the member.
Okay. Point of information taken.
Thank you for taking the point of information. I just wanted to inform him, Kavaso, it is diaphragm. Diaphragm.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. I
you
wanted
for
to
that.
put it in a good way.
Very important.
We can all understand. But you understand what I mean. They are in fact, in the same village, there are women who turn babies when women are pregnant. When babies are not well positioned, they are midwives, but also there are some who turn them to position them nicely. Yeah. This is a very rare species of highly qualified women who, in fact, we need to go a step further and promote them and identify them. So my chairman health, based on this motion, we might need to identify these people, find a way of giving them a small stipend, and number two, also equipping them with the necessary equipment. Why Mheshimiwa Dawa is having a challenge? They must be using needles which are not sterilized, or razor blades which are not sterilized. So the issue is, Mr. Chairman, wait.
Point of information taken, Honorable Brian. Let's see what the chairman has to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think I need to inform the member that we established community health promoters. They are not for a specific trade. They are for all trades. So what we are saying is that when we say they need to be equipped, it is to have that ability to identify those rare talents among the community and help them in doing community health. So it is not a question of going outside again to create another chapter of trying to identify new talents. We already established that chapter to be able to identify those talents.
Very important. Honorable Member.
Well informed, but madam, we all went to school and we learned about mutually exclusive events and mutually inclusive events. Mutually exclusive events are events which are not related. With all due respect to my chairman, these community health promoters and the women I'm referring to are mutually exclusive. And they were not even identified in the recruitment process. They were not even recognized. We know what happened. These promoters were just picked haphazardly, without even any technical knowledge being asked from them. What I'm asking, Madam Speaker, here is a serious recognition of women who have talent within the villages, and they should also be put under the stipend to start promoting our people. And when you train them, and I'm now talking about that, I go home every day, and I'm meeting them. When you train them, equip them with necessary equipment, including, instead of using razors which are not sterilized, we should actually equip them with nice, good health equipment which they can be able to use. Doing away with them is actually a disaster in the village. So what I'm trying to say is, as much as I'm supporting the motion, we need to go further. In fact, this is a motion which is identifying the needs of watu wetu mashinani. And the minute we start addressing these issues, we are actually now getting to the grassroots issues facing our people. So, Madam Speaker, as I wind up, I want us to, I understand what is happening, and that is something which needs to be picked up. And we need as an assembly, together with our health committee, realize there is a need. And the minute you identify there is a need, you come up with a solution. And what I'm asking for is how do we as an assembly, through the budgeting making process, how do we support these very well experienced women in our villages? Now, let me tell you, there are also some very good men who are removing teeth in my village. They remove teeth. If you go to Mwala Hospital or Mwala clinics, to remove a teeth is charging you 2,000 bob. But that guy charges a teeth 200, 150, 300 bob. Now, will you do away with these people who are specialized in removing teeth? Why don't we find a way of actually equipping them with the knowledge and the equipment of how to handle these people, including giving them gloves? So, Madam Speaker, I think it's a very good motion which needs to be taken up. And since I'm in the health committee, it's something we are going to discuss. But also, you can pilot with my ward. I can organize a meeting with these women, because actually I want to take them a step further as the Mheshimiwa in charge, to train them, equip them, so that even if we take our children to level 4 Mwala, it is very expensive. A motorbike from my local village to and from is 600 bob. A common mwananchi cannot afford that. So we need to take our services to Mashinani. And one of the ways we take that service Mashinani is identifying these ladies and then coming up with ways to support them. I support Madam Speaker, but I'm also saying we need to go a step further. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. In fact, I want to say this. We all know we are not new to this community. We know that we have those talented women amongst the Kampa community. We know the women who used and are still doing it, doing that midwifery. There are those who turn the kids when they are positioned badly in their mothers. There are those who are dealing with the teeth, the gums, teething. There are those who are dealing with other many ways. And it is, you look at them and you even listen and see what they have done. They are really talented, those women. So what Mheshimiwa Ndawa and supported by Mheshimiwa Brian are saying is that we need to identify them. We are not refusing that we have the community promoters, health promoters, they are there. But perhaps those women were not identified to form part of that community. And it is very key. Then we equip them, train them, show them the modern way of doing it, use the proper equipments that have been sterilized and that kind of thing, so that we don't have to have these having kids infected because of using the wrong equipments. Yeah, that's my input. Honorable Kavyu, you can contribute, after which Honorable Mheshimiwa Monga, you've not contributed on this motion.
No,
it was a point of information. Then you'll contribute after Mheshimiwa. Honorable Musila, in that order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think the issue before the House, as Mheshimiwa Ndawa was deliberating on the matter, it reminded me of one of the literature books that I studied in school, called Mayai Waziri na hadithi nyinginezo. There was one story on Muganga Mwaibale, who used to treat people, but when HIV came, he could not understand what it was. So people will come to him for treatment, and he was not aware that by using the same razor as he used to do before HIV came, that he was facilitating the spread of the same. So he was wondering how come nowadays I'm treating people and they are not getting well? So he thought it was a curse. That's why people are not near. But back to the issue on the house, I think if not all of us, majority of us underwent the process that Honorable Ndawa is talking about, because we grew up at a time when access to health or hospitals was a privilege. So the only option that was there was those mothers Mheshimiwa Ndawa is talking about. And on what the honorable member was requesting, one was the aspect of sensitization, because in today's world, compared to the times when we were growing up, technology has evolved. So most of the time nowadays, even mothers don't need to go to those specialists or even to hospitals. They are readily available medicine that are going at cheap as 10 shillings, and they are very effective, and you'll not even know when the child is going through that stage. I'm contributing this because I'm a young father. We are still in those stages. So most of the time, even I don't know when the kids' teeth are coming out, because the mother just buys the medicine. He applies it by rubbing on the gum. Then the next day, you just find the kid with the teeth already grown. So what we need is that aspect of sensitizing, and also to create awareness that this is something that can be done at home. And probably the second prayer that the honorable member was making is that the recently health promoters, or the people who are the CHVs at the community level, what they need is just to be provided with those medicine, because they normally go from one household to another. Then they need to be sensitized and they be on the lookout, because for any children below the age of 5, I think they are not charged in our hospitals. So if you go to any hospital facility within Machakos County, for the little kids below 5 years, they are not charged any amount. So I think we just need to take advantage of that and create an awareness, and also make our people understand, in an event your kid is going through that phase of life, what do you need to do at home with what is readily available. That will save, because and the recommendation that I will make, so that we can incorporate the take advantage of the talent that Mheshimiwa Kisila is talking, the health committee can look, if it's possible, if we can have health committees at the village levels, headed by the CHP who has been appointed, then those rare talents can be incorporated to be part of those teams. So a village can have a team of 5 people, and they undergo that training, and also they can be incorporated. Then they can offer that service to the community, because they are integral part of this community.
Point of information taken. Honorable Kavyu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Okay.
I'm done.
Anyway, it's okay. I just wanted to say that what you have contributed is good, but sensitization is even as important as training them to know what to do. Sensitization. So let's look for funding as a county to sensitize our women on the ground.
Thank you, Honorable Ndeti. Honorable Mwanga.
Madam Speaker, thank you for giving me this chance to contribute on this noble motion by member for Matu Ward. Madam Speaker, much of what I wanted to say has been said, and I don't want to repeat what has been said. However, Madam Speaker, it is good that through these talents, the people with these talents, we should make use of them. Because actually, like what Mheshimiwa for Mwala said, you find that our healthy facilities sometimes are too far. And maybe a case is almost 20 kilometers away. And the poverty levels are also high. Madam Speaker, I want to say this is a cultural thing. And Mheshimiwa Vincent for Apakaewa said it is common in Kambas and Masais. Madam Speaker, I would like to say this exercise, majority of us went through it, but we are still alive. Those days, Madam Speaker, people had not a blessed Christianity as a today. And this thing, Madam Speaker, had some conditions. We should be asking ourselves, could our kids be dying because of the conditions which went hand in hand with the exercise, Madam Speaker? Madam Speaker, we are Kambas and we should lay things bare. Madam Speaker, what am I trying to say? I'm saying when your child's gum is pierced, there were conditions of 7 days, yeah, not to be near your husband. Maybe, Madam Speaker, we are breaching the cultures and customs. So I think it is something that the move of the motion should also, yeah, should also make use of it and sensitize these younger women. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Thank you. Thank you very much. Honorable Musila, then Honorable Maeke. Oh,
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I applaud Honorable Joshua Monga for the way he has taken it. I didn't know. That's news to me. I just wanted to say one or two things. I support the motion. And maybe to contribute, not to repeat what others have said. I want to appreciate that these ladies or these people, because they are also men who are talented differently in these fields, you'll find each of them, Madam Speaker, is talented in one way. There are those who are good in wifery. There are those who are good in cutting the gums, and the others. I'm looking at it in a broader way, that as much as we would want to embrace it and cascade it down, which will be very much advantageous to the areas that are far-flung, like where I come from, it is good. But then we need maybe to establish a law that will govern or will guide what they are doing. Madam Speaker, you agree with me that Kenyans, we are very much enterprising. And we are going to give a go-ahead to one lady or one man to be doing one particular item in these, the so-called talents. I know they are not many. They are people we can incorporate in the promoters that we have already established in the areas. But these enterprises, Kenyans, you'll find them going out of their way. He or she was licensed maybe to do the midwife or gum cutting. Then somebody will go ahead and say, even this other one, FGM, I can still do, which is not part of it. So what I'm trying to say, Madam Speaker, is let us be sincere in ourselves and say, yes, we embrace it, it does, it works, but then what is this particular person supposed to do within the confines of law? So that we are not saying in Kenya, no FGM, then this other person is saying, since I was licensed to cut, I can still cut here. So, Madam Speaker, I would... There. Madam Speaker, I'm just saying, let us have a law to govern the whole thing. As much as we want to do it, which is very much welcome, but let us have a law so that we can be following within a certain law, within a certain confine on law, we do the rest, the best of the thing. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support the motion.
Thank you very much. A law should be found to govern the
Thank you, Madam
Same.
Speaker, for according me this chance. And I'll start by saying that Honorable Ndawa, the minority leader, has brought something into light. Because if we can be losing 9 infants per month, it means it's something that is so much serious. However, Madam Speaker, we should, as it has been alluded before, we should also understand that there are some cultural practices. And sometimes to remove people from their culture needs a lot of sensitization, and needs a lot of goodwill, and needs a lot of love. Madam Speaker, the honorable member has explained, that is Honorable Mwanga has explained, those are cultures and beliefs. But basically, Madam Speaker, we cannot, education, the reason education came, it came to help our people. For example, there are people, and some even, like people who come from Kitui, you find there's a sect called Kavonocha. They don't believe in going to hospitals, even if you are bitten by a snake. And it means that it's a cultural practice, but definitely it is not the right thing to do. So I agree with my minority leader, the move of the motion, that one, there is need for sensitization. And how do we sensitize? Sensitization does not need, it may not necessarily need this house to come up with the regulation, because somebody will tell you he has a right of choice to where to treat their children. And we may find ourselves, if we go into laws and saying if your child does not come to the hospital for this. But Madam Speaker, it is also prudent to understand that there is this postnatal and prenatal clinics, and these things are explained there. So in the sensitization, it is also good to sensitize these pregnant women, because all these things are there. And even if you go to hospital, it is the same thing that happens. There is that medicine they give the Bansan, and for those who are having small children, they know, and it is happening. And even when you go to the hospital, it is the same procedure they'll tell you, only that this is to be guided and in a clean environment. So I agree, it may not be in Matu alone. It may not be. So my prayer is, once the sensitization happens, it happens all over, and not only on the teeth cutting menace, but also on some other matters to do with, even with children with disabilities. I found cases in my ward where people hide the PWDs, and you'll find somebody is hiding them, and people are not sensitized about matters of health. So I support the motion, and I congratulate the move of the motion, and also let it be investigated, because also cultures and beliefs are cultures and beliefs, and the Mwanga theory should also be investigated. We know whether that also could be the cause, so that the women are also sensitized not to sleep with their women after their teeth are cut. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Kavio.
I think as long, despite it, Madam Speaker, being part of our culture, I think the world has evolved, and Article 43(1) of the Constitution, it's very clear that every person has a right to attain the highest standard of health. So the question that we should debate in as a house is when we encourage our people to visit those traditional healthcare.
Point of
givers.
clarification, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, point of clarification.
What we need to ask ourselves is
Declined. Declined.
is what
Point
we
of
are encouraging our
declined.
people the highest that can be obtained. And if it's not, then I think 30 years ago, Madam Speaker, what we are debating today was acceptable, but we have evolved. So what we need is to sensitize our people, make sure that our people as early as now, and nowadays we'll find out of the expectant mothers or the people who we are having now as mothers, they are not the old people. It's people who are exposed. So that sensitization, what Mheshimiwa is asking for, that is the bit that we need to sensitize our people, because in terms of healthcare, there might be distant in terms of access, but there is no gap in terms of health provision. Because even in the remotest part, you'll find like a small chemistry, Ashton, you can find it in very remote parts of the Nini, and it's very effective. You will not need to cut. So let's encourage, and I think the Committee on Health under leadership of Engineer Mutie, the chair, I think they need to come up with an elaborate plan, and even if it means all of us going and have bunge mashinani and go accompanying the committee and educate our people, then let it be. But the fact remains that those practices are not safe, and losing 9 kids in a month, it's not something that we should take it lightly as a house. Thank you, Madam Speaker. And Munga, I think Munga is one of those specialists. That kofia is a trademark. Most of them normally wear that. So I don't know whether he's part of that team.
I hope it is an light touch. Okay, Honorable Mulinge, then we finalize our debate and move.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First, I would like to congratulate minority leader for bringing this motion. It shows that he is caring to the electorate of his ward. The problem of his people is his problem. Madam Speaker, I've recognized Matu has a special issues as compared to my ward in Muvoteke Makimwe. But I've learned, Madam Speaker, the reason why people of Matu, they are embarrassing more on the cultural practices as a way of treatment, solving their health problem. One of the reasons might be because, you know, the cost of living has gone high, and because of that, people of Matu cannot afford to travel, maybe from to the nearest dispensary, and if they can afford, then dispensaries are not equipped to handle the special cases of people of Matu. Madam Speaker, we know we are here because of our forefathers, grandfathers. They passed through these activities, through the works of the traditional doctors. And in Africa, Madam Speaker, we know 80% of the people, they are using the focal ways, focal medicines, that is humble medicines, for treatment of certain diseases. And the reason why they are doing so, it is because indigenous beliefs using these that will heal. But because of evolvement of technology and change even of the behavior of diseases, Madam Speaker, I support the motion. The people of Matu, they need proper sensitization. And it shows there is a lot of misuse. There are a lot of, I'll call them quacks, they are using, they are pretending they are traditional doctors to help the children in the expense of harming them. And Madam Speaker, you know, earlier days they were using special herbs from special trees. And because of change of weather, change of environment, those trees, they were sourcing the drugs that they, after cutting the children, they can apply. Those drugs are not available. And because of that, others are getting medicine from different places, from Masaini. And because of, I believe the reason not the cutting, the reason not the cutting, the medicine they are using.
Honorable Mulinge,
Yes.
are you supporting the motion or you are blaming the people?
No, Madam Speaker,
What is the point?
I started by saying I support the motion.
Okay.
I support the motion, and I even said the county government, the department concerned, is supposed to sensitize the people of Matu, because the trend show seems to be more in Matu as compared to other areas. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. At this point, may I invite Honorable Ndawa, the mover of the motion, to come forward and reply.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I will start by thanking my colleagues, honorable members, who have spoken and those who have not spoken. Because I know if they end time also, they would have spoken and they would have supported the motion. Honorable Speaker, I've noted some of the issues which were raised by members, and I will start by clarifying what has been raised by the large speaker. Honorable Speaker, the issue of kids dying in Matu level 4 does not necessarily mean that the kids are from Matu. Matu level 4 hospital is the Livaro hospital of that sub-region, and it gets patients from all over. We get patients from Masinga sub-county, other sub-county, and other areas. So, when I spoke to the public health officer, the sub-county public health officer, I was given 3 stations. Station number 1 is Mheshimiwa Mwanga's place, Masinga. Station number 2 is Mamba, which is in Kidimani, and station number 3 is Matu. So, Honorable Speaker, if we are to do sensitization, we should not particularize Matu, just say Matu, and the patients are coming from other areas. So we should take note of that. Again, Honorable Speaker, just as Mheshimiwa Kavya said, it is very clear. And whatever has been given by the Constitution, nobody should deny or try to encroach or infringe that constitutional right. Honorable Speaker, Article 43 of the Constitution gives every Kenyan right to attain the highest standard of health. And I was surprised when my colleagues here, who are very much conversant with that article, are trying now to purport or to show that the highest standard of health is that of that particular woman at the village level, who is not being controlled by anyone. Honorable Speaker, medical practitioners are controlled by the KMPDU. And in the case of any negligence, it is that department that takes the necessary action. If we allow to go, as Mheshimiwa Brian was telling us, that we allow those ladies and men in our village, if they blunder while doing those need duties, all will take the disciplinary action. So, Honorable Speaker, I'm not blushing what he's saying. I'm not blushing what he said. I'm just requesting.
Point of information taken.
In my iPad, I was trying to refer, actually, traditional medicine men and women are recognized in our constitution. I want to inform you that traditional medicine men are recognized, and maybe with time I was Googling to find out where it is. They are recognized. These are not witch doctors. Neither are they witchcraft people. They are recognized by the law. And they are there. And let me tell you, let us not start practicing, pretending here that we come from universe, from Mars. We are Wakamba. And Kambas have got their specific ways. Traditional healers are recognized in our constitution.
Point is taken. Honorable member. Honorable Ndawa, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Again, I want to confirm here that the motion is not seeking to undo cultural practices. If you go to whatever we are requesting here, there is no request to undo the cultural practices. And in our constitution, the issue of culture is also recognized. So what I was saying, Honorable Speaker, our county government has set aside a very huge budget for Department of Health. In fact, in Machakos, health docket got the lion's share. And I believe Mheshimiwa Brian can confirm that because he's a member of the budget committee. And the reason why, yes, you are a member of the health committee. The reason why we gave budget, we gave the huge budget to medical department or the medical health sector is to ensure that every child, every person get what he or she is supposed to get. Honorable Speaker, speaking to or talking to whoever is in charge of the Sub-County Public Health, last 1 month, we treated about 40 children. And out of those 40 children, 9 passed on. And as we talk now, we have about 8 admitted in Matule for 4 as of now. Honorable Speaker, just last month, we saw these health promoters going around carrying tins containing drugs or dewormers. They went all over. I was given a tablet and I swallowed that tablet to deworm myself. And I'm very sure all the members here can also confirm that was done. What I'm requesting in the motion is that how we are treating these other issues, we also incorporate the subject matter in question so that we ensure that our kids are safe, so that when we are no longer here, those kids now who are suffering, those who we are talking about, can be able to comfortably sit here and transact business. Honorable Speaker, again, I do agree with my colleagues who have spoken here that we have talented people in our villages. I do agree. But as you are aware, Honorable Speaker, even in our workplace and in other institutions, there are what we call menders and there are what we call proteges. A protege is a newly recruited officer, and a mender is somebody who has been in that institution for long. And in most cases, several proteges will be given one mender to mentor them. So if we say we have qualified people there, there are other people who also develop interest of doing the same. And because maybe one time that lady took a child to have that gum cut, somebody can now start pretending or try to do what he saw that other lady doing. And on that act now, that is the time we are losing or we are having these challenges. Honorable Speaker, I want to report here, most of the kids that were brought to Matule for 4, about 70% were anemic. They end bleeded, and then no blood. They end, first of all, the medical practitioner end to ensure that they put blood on them, so as to need to treat them. And I'm very sure they are bringing the kids when they see now there is nothing else they can do. So we are requesting. I'm very sure every member of county assembly, especially the elected leaders, every member was given an opportunity to present a proposal for a new dispensary. And bringing a new dispensary now that is taking service close to Mwananchi. Honorable Speaker, in every ward there are several health facilities, and you may see a lady taking a child longer distance to that particular that traditional healer, the longer distance than the distance of moving from her home to the facility. In fact, some pass the facility and go long distance to get services that are not guaranteed. So, Honorable Speaker, I'm requesting. There is a policy in our county that any child below 5 years, we don't charge even a single cent. So why should we not use these existing facilities that we are giving services free of charge? So, Honorable Speaker, I would also propose, because of the sentiments issued by my colleagues here, we also identify those talented. Then after identifying them, we need to bring them together. We give them an opportunity to show us their talent. Yes. Then from there, those who qualify most, maybe we can have a small orientation for them. We can train them a bit, and we can register them, so that we can be able to track where they are. But if we say here now, or we let it now say, let those who are doing that cutting continue, that will be now giving license for them to continue killing our kids. So, Honorable Speaker, I would wish and I would request, if the chairperson was around, but I know members are here, members of wealth, I would request that, because this is a serious matter, and we don't know what will happen tomorrow or later in the day, I would request that once you commit the motion to the relevant committee, you allow them to retreat tomorrow, so that they can go and see what is happening, and maybe try their level best, so that we can be able to arrest the situation before it gets out of hand. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you and thank the entire committee, and also request, because I know this assembly is live. Our mothers at home, our fathers at home, those who are young babies like myself, my last born is 2 years. Let us not joke with the lives of our kids. Let us use the gazetted facilities so that to ensure that our kids get the best. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. I now put the question that this House urges the County Government of Machakos, through the Department of Health, to put up measures to ensure that, 1, mothers are sensitized on how to handle teething babies, both at prenatal and postnatal clinics. 2, community health promoters are well equipped with knowledge to sensitize mothers and caregivers to shun gum cutting and embrace modern health practices of teething. As many are of the opinion, say aye. As many are of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it. I'm informed that it is a committee on implementation to make a follow-up after a motion has been passed. So it's not a committee on health. And therefore, I direct that they take up the matter. Committee on implementation. Thank you, members. At this point, we adjourn the House to Wednesday, 29th November 2023 at 2:30 p.m. See you then, members.